Ranjana Yashoda Dana Braj Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braj Jana Ranjana Braj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Gaura Hari Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Sachi Mata Pran Dhan Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Sachi Mata Pran Dhan Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Patit Pavan Gaura Hari Gaura 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 Hari Patit Pavan Gaura Hari Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jayo Srila Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jayo Srila Prabhupada Jai Gurudev Jayo Srila Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jayo Srila Gurudev Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री निताय गौरांग भगवान की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय So we are reading from Canto 10, Chapter 84, Text 17, chapter entitled The Sages' Teachings at Kurukshetra. Let us recite the verses. Aniha etad bahudheka atmana srijati avati atina badhyate yatha भौमेर्हि भूमिर्बहुनाम रूपिणी अहो विभुमनश्चरितं विदम्बनम् अनीहा एतद् बहुधैक आत्मना सृजाति अवति अतिना बध्यते यथा भौमेर्हि भूमिर्बहुनाम रूपिणी अहो विभुमनश्चरितं विदम्बनम् अनीहा एतद् बहुधैक आत्मना सृजाति अवति अतिना बध्यते यथा भौमेर्हि भूमिर्बहुनाम रूपिणी अहो विभुमनश्चरितं विडम्बनम् अनीहा एतद् बहुधैक आत्मना सृजाति अवति अतिना बध्यते यथा भौमेर्हि भूमिर्बहुनाम रूपिणी अहो विभुमनश्चरितं विडम्बनम् अनीहा एतत् बहुदैक आत्मना भौमेर्हि भूमिर्बहुनाम रूपिणी विडम्बनश्चरितं विडम्बनम् अनीहा एतत् बहुधैक आत्मना जाति अवति अतिना बध्यते यथा भौमेरि भूमिर्बहुनाम रूपिणी अहो विभुमनश्चरितं विडम्बनम्. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada disciples ki jai. Word to word meaning first. Aniha, exerting no endeavor. Etat, this universe. Bahudha, manifold. Eka, alone. Atmanaha, by himself. Srijati, he creates. Abhati, maintains. Ati, annihilates. Na badhyate, is not bound up. Yatha, as. Bahume, by the transformations of earth. He, indeed. Bhumi, earth. Bahu, many. Nama Rupini, having names and forms. Aho, aha. Vibhumanaha, of the Almighty Lord. Charitam, the activities. Vidambanam, a pretense. Translation. Indeed, the human-like pastimes of the Almighty are simply a pretense. Effortlessly, He alone sends forth from His self this variegated creation, maintains it, and then swallows it up again, all without becoming entangled. Just as the element earth takes on many names and forms in its various transformations. Purport. The One Supreme expands himself as many without diminishing his completeness. He does this effortlessly, without depending on anyone or anything else. This mystic process of the Lord's self expansion is incomprehensible to all but himself. But the example of the substance earth and its manifold products bears enough resemblance to provide some idea. The same example is also presented in an often cited passage of the Chandogya Upanishad 6.1. Vacharam vanam vikaro namadheyam mritaketi eva satyam. Earth's transformations are merely verbal creations of the process of naming. The substance earth itself is alone real. Srila Sridhar Swami suggests that this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam answers a possible objection on the part of Lord Krishna. How can I create, maintain, and destroy the universe if I am Vasudeva's son? The answer is given by the words Aho Vibhu Manas Charitam Vidambanam. You are the perfectly complete whole, and your birth and pastimes are only an imitation of ordinary person's activities in the material world. You simply pretend to be under higher control. Let us say the prayers together. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितमाश्च नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरविसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यं जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I seek blessings at the lotus feet of all the devotees so that I can say something for the glorification of the Lord, glorification of Prabhupada and all the acharyas, and for my personal purification. So this verse, Anand Bhagwan Prabhu had also explained it very nicely. So I will try to share whatever my understanding is there. So in this verse, as we recited and we also discussed the meaning, where it is said that when the Lord performs his human-like pastimes, so it is very difficult to comprehend, very difficult to understand that when Lord is performing certain pastimes, that is why we all have difficulty, people have difficulty in understanding the Lord, the Supreme Lord. So in Brahma Samhita, the first verse which Brahmaji speaks about is that says that Iswara Param Krishna Satchitarand Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam. So here we see that few things which Brahmaji in the verse he says. First is that he explains that who is Krishna, he is the Ishwara Param. Like there are many Ishwara is there. We all know small Ishwara. We are also like tiny little Ishwaras. We are there with limited capacity, capability. But Krishna is the supreme Ishwar. He is the topmost. And along with that, he also mentions one important thing that he has a form, Vigraha, Satchitananda. That he is not like formless, but he is having a form. And he is the cause of all causes. He is Sarva Karan Karnam, that he is cause of all causes. So like there are like lots of like confusion people might be having that this Brahman is there. So entire universe may appear that is impersonal, there is no form is there. So some may get stuck there itself. So here in Brahmaji, who is the first living entity of this entire creation, so in the first verse only he is clarifying that Krishna is having a form and everything is coming from Krishna only. And whatever the origin is there, whatever the creation is there, like in this verse of Bhagavatam today, so the creation is there, maintenance is there, destruction is there. So everything is carried by Krishna only. Maybe he uses like Brahma, Shiva is there, other demigods are there. So everyone is getting this power or this you can say the strength to do all these things from Krishna only. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, so he very nicely explains this in a purport. So I will read it. So his English is very tough. So I will try to read it. Let us see. So what he writes, the very intensely blended entity of eternal presence of felicitous cognition is the charming targeted holding or transcendental icon. It follows that the conception of the indistinguishable formless magnitude Brahman, which is an indolent, lax presentment of cognitive bliss, is merely a penumbra of intensely blended glow of the three concomitants, which the blissful, the substantive, and the cognitive. This transcendental manifestive icon Krishna, in his original face, is primordial background of magnitudinal infinite Brahman and of all pervasive oversoul. This is what he writes. So whatever my understanding based on dictionary, I will tell. So first of all, he says that whatever this Brahman is there, he says that formless magnitude Brahman, which is not having any form. So this is says that felicitous cognition. So felicitous is something which is like suitable, and cognition like we have the awareness, the knowledge is there. So this Brahman for which we are having this understanding, this knowledge. So this is, he says that this is like indolent, lax, and present, it is indolent and lax, and presentment of cognitive bliss. So it is indolent means it is dull kind of matter. It is not very active. This material world or material universe is there, and it is merely a penumbra. I don't know pronunciation is correct or not. It is P-E-N-U-M-B-R-A, penumbra. So its meaning is that the outer part of a shadow that is less dark than the central part. That is the meaning of penumbra. So what I understood is that like, it is because this material world is nothing but a reflection of the spiritual world, or 1/4 of the entire creation of the Supreme Lord. And the spiritual abode is what it is, says that it is blissful, it is substantive, and it is cognitive, that is full of knowledge. And then finally he says that this transcendental manifestive icon Krishna in his original face is primordial background. So Krishna is the primordial, that is, he is the primitive, that is the original, he is the background from which all this infinite Brahman that is emanating, and he is the all pervasive oversoul. We have heard about soul, super soul. So today I learned about our soul. So our soul means the absolute reality and basis of all existence. So everything which is existing, everything which has the basis, so that is coming from Krishna. So even this Brahman, what we see, which is very big in magnitude, very vast, and it has certain qualities like indolent, lax, presentment. So everything is coming directly from Krishna only. So he is the source, he is the origin of everything. So that is how he is very nicely explaining. So in the first verse only, so it is very clearly maintained that Krishna is one who is having original, who is the origin, he has the form, and he is the source of everything. Even the Brahman, which is the source, that is Krishna only. And further, like in the purport, Srila Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains further. So that we will not go. So this is what he explains. So here, like we have the creation. So we all know this creation which we talk about. So one is that Krishna is the cause of the creation. So he creates everything. Now here in this Bhagavatam verse, it is said that it is difficult to understand the creator who is Krishna. So now when we try to understand the creator, it is also, we should try to see whether his creation are we able to completely understand or not, whatever the creation he has done. So one is that what is given in the scriptures like Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, which Acharyas explain. So all this is given in the scriptures. So they explain about the incomprehensible nature of this material creation of the Lord. So that is from the scriptural perspective. But even in the so-called scientific world, or the people who may not directly accept God, so they also understand this important aspect that it is not possible to understand everything. So there is one article in Nature. Nature, we all know it is very, very famous magazine, very reputed magazine, Nature. So there is an article which is published in this Nature magazine, and the title of that article itself is "How much can we know?" Title itself is how much can we know? Because we have certain limitations, and based on that limitations, we cannot know everything. So there they talk about two reasons that we cannot know everything. And one of the reasons they give is that because there are certain Shri Nitai Gaurang Bhagavan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So one of the reason which they gave is that because the tools which we use or whatever the researches which we perform, so they have certain limitations, like whatever the things which we have created. So those are not like absolute. We cannot identify the entire universe using those tools. Like we have macroscope, telescope, or many other researchers like they keep on discovering many things. So they have certain limitations because, and based on that, we cannot know everything. So that is one thing they said. The second thing is very interesting. They say that why it is very difficult to understand the nature completely is because it has intrinsic impenetrability. It has intrinsic impenetrability. Intrinsic is something which is natural to certain things. Like I have some intrinsic ability, some person may have certain intrinsic ability. So the nature has that intrinsic thing which cannot be penetrated. Like if you try to understand the nature, so nature has certain attributes, certain qualities we cannot penetrate and go into it. So another reason is giving that because right now what is that we are part of this nature. So when we are part of something, so it is very difficult to understand or comprehend that thing completely. So it is explained that it is something like we are stuck in a circle. The circle is there, it has a beginning, it has an end. So the life is, our birth is the beginning and death is the end. So within that circle, that life span, we keep on revolving. And within that period of time, we try to understand the nature, which may not be completely possible. And the famous German physicist, that Heisenberg principle, we all have read about him, that uncertainty principle. So he says one important thing. So he says that what we observe in nature is not itself. What we observe is not nature in itself, but nature exposed to our method of understanding. So what we are seeing in the nature is not that nature we are understanding, but what kind of questions we are asking and what answers we are trying to seek from the nature. Only that part we can understand. We cannot go beyond that. So that is what he is saying. That is our limitation. And other thing is that we try to understand based on our consciousness. We try to understand the world, and like there are many unsolved mysteries in the scientific world. And one of the unsolved mysteries is called the consciousness. Like it is very difficult. Scientists cannot figure out that why there is consciousness. What is the reason behind this consciousness? So this is from the Nature magazine. So this is why, because I'm saying that's not just the scriptures is saying, but even the, you can say the secular magazine, all these, they are explaining the same aspect, that understanding the nature is not so easy. So there it is said that it is published that there are like many, like specifically they had mentioned there are 20 unsolved mysteries in the scientific world. They have been trying for years, for since ages they have been trying, but they are not able to figure out. So one of the mystery is that, the first is that they try to understand that, first mystery is that what is the universe made of. So when we talk about creation and the creator, so the scientific community or the people who are trying to understand, so they are not able to figure out that what this universe is made of. So right now it is said that our understanding of universe is just 5%. Why 5%? Because the entire creation of universe is just made of 5% atoms. And right now we have understanding about the atoms which constitute just 5% of the universe. So our understanding is limited to just 5%. And that too also within 5% also there are certain limitations. And the 95% of the entire universe, so it is composed of two things, that is called dark matter and dark energy. So previously, the understanding was not there. So 1933, this concept of dark matter came. The name itself is dark matter because it is dark. No one knows that what is dark matter. That is what the dark matter they say. So that was in 1933. They thought that it is dark matter and then this atoms. And then 1998, they came with the concept of dark energy also. So through dark, there is dark matter, dark energy. So what is dark matter? They say the dark matter is that because the entire universe is there, planets are there, cosmos are there, galaxies are there. So there is some binding force which binds all the planets are there, all these, you can say, asteroids, all this, the things in the galaxies in the universe, they keep on binding. So there has to be some glue. So one they say the gravitational pull is there. So it's not just the gravitational pull, but there are something else also which is binding the entire universe. That is why we do not see that things are. That is why we see that things are in a very orderly way. So that invisible glue is termed as dark matter. And the scientists, they are trying to figure out that what this dark matter actually is composed of. The second thing they say is about the dark energy. So what is this dark energy? So they said that the universe keeps on expanding with like a high speed, even the faster than the speed of the light. So that is because of the dark energy. So because of this dark matter, dark energy, so because of this dark energy, the universe is expanding. So this understanding right now we are not having. What is dark matter? What is dark energy? So people keep on researching it. So still this, but no one is right now aware that what is this dark matter, dark energy. So that is why when we talk about understanding Krishna, so before understanding Krishna, we were not even able to understand this entire universe also. So what to talk about the universe, even like if we talk about ourselves also, so we are not able to understand ourselves also completely, that how our body completely functions when we take our food, how the food get digested, all these things, how it is happening, that is very difficult to understand. Like scientists may claim that they know all the process, all the, like in the body, whatever the enzymes are there, other things are there, so those are used to digest our food and all. But it is not so easy. Like whatever the digestive system is there, that is a very complicated machine. So very difficult to figure out. So like for example, you give green grass to cow, and the cow will produce white milk. So scientists know everything, but I have never seen any kind of, they have made any kind of machine where you put green grass from one side and white milk will come from other side. So although all the understanding is there, they can give you that whatever the milk is composed of, everything they can say. But till now I have never heard, I don't know if anywhere anyone has done it, but till now I have never heard it, that it has ever happened. Similarly, I think, if I'm not wrong, it was Louis Pasteur, we said, no, that if we look at the human eyes, we will be forced to believe in the creator. Because human eye is very complex. Eyes we see is not so, it's not that something will come automatically, that eyes which we see, the eyes which we have, through which we see the world, through which we perceive the world. So this is very difficult. So it is something very mysterious thing is there. So that is like one thing. They say that what this universe is composed of, they are not able to find out. The second thing is that how did life begin? That is also very mysterious. So no one knows. So people say that how did life begin? So we might have read in our like school or maybe in college also that a primordial soup. We all might have read about that. Primordial soup is there, and from that only all the chemicals are there. Everything is there, and everything there got mixed up, and from there the first molecule came up, and from that molecule all this, the first cell came, then but like cellular organism, then multicellular, everything started evolving. So that concept was given by Stanley Miller. So he had given this concept. So although he had given this concept, but the question which everyone is having is that fine, chemicals are present, like maybe different nitrogen is there, oxygen is there, carbon dioxide, other chemicals are present, but there has to be someone who will steer that soup, right? Like if we have to make lemon water also, we put sugar, we put salt, and we put water, we put lemon, but एक चम्मच चाहिए घुमाने के लिए. So who is the one who has steered it? That no one is aware, because something will cannot come like in the dainty kitchen. Suppose that all the ingredients are there, but all the spices are there, like vegetables are there, everything is there, everything will not automatically mix up. There has to be some devotee who will be there, who will be cooking the food, and then finally that food is going to be offered to Nitai Gauranga. So similarly, like if we say that all these things are there, but someone has to be there, some agent is there, some has to be there who will initiate that activity. So many things are there we see in the world, which is like when we work, so there are something we schedule many things. Like things will happen automatically. People will not come to know. We will schedule that this particular code will run at 6 a.m. in the morning. So that we do, so it will run at 6 a.m. So a person who is not aware about the technology, so they will see that things are happening automatically. But behind the scene, there are people who will schedule that thing. Then only things will start working. So that is why when we say that life automatically begins, it came by chance. So that also people say it, people talk about it, but no one accepts it. They also have this thought process that how things, all these things can happen in a very, you can say, something which can happen without the presence of any other, you can say, agent or person or living being, anything. They will not say the God directly, but they will talk about this thing. And the uh, third thing they say is that the doubt they are having, anyway, scriptures clear it, that are we alone in the universe? That is the doubt they are having. So people say that only the earth is having, the living entities are only there on the earth, nowhere else there is there, the living form is there. But they talk about this, but there is a doubt, and recently, I don't know whether you have read or not, there was a study which was conducted in Harvard University, and the title of that paper was the crypto-terrestrial hypothesis, a case for scientific openness to a concealed earthly explanation for unidentified anomalous phenomena. So it says that, as per the study by the Harvard University, that there could be, according to their terminology I'm using, according to their terminology, so there are aliens disguised as human beings and they are living with us in this world. That is their understanding. So they talk about UFO also, unidentified flying objects. This is not like paper published here and there. It is from this Harvard University paper, study paper they have said. So they said that there are multiverse concepts, so we are not alone. So there are many other living entities in many universes are also living entities are there. So I think I had read Dutkarma Prabhu's book, Michael Cremo's book. So I don't remember the exact book. There are many books he had written. One is Forbidden Archaeology, and one was that human devolution. Yeah, human devolution he mentions, or hidden history of human race somewhere. Like either these two books or human devolution, he mentions about this. That about extraterrestrial beings that they come, they reside, they come in the night time. So whatever UFO explanation which is given, so he explains it very nicely there. What Prabhuji is explaining so many times, like these are also people are not trying to figure out that whatever he has said, that is not completely wrong. Like when he had written Forbidden Archaeology, so there are like big issue was there that how can he write that kind of book, Forbidden Archaeology. So the scientific community during that time, so they did not question his facts. They just questioned that how can he write it. That was their point. That how can you go against some established scientific norm? How can you go against it? But if we see, like when we talk about in this world, people talk about democracy. People say that in democracy there should be space for two views. Two opposing views can also be there, and they should coexist. So sometime like recently the election happened. So they say that if you have a strong government, so along with a strong government, there is also important that there should be strong opposition also. Because if government is just a strong, opposition is very weak, then there is a possibility that the government will become a dictator and they can do whatever they want to do. That is a strong opposition is there, is required. Similarly, but unfortunately, in certain section or scientific community, you cannot speak against any, means you cannot have your viewpoint. You cannot express your viewpoint. If you are expressing your viewpoint, not just expressing it through facts and figures, because what Dutkarma Prabhu he mentions there, so he has given all the evidences. It's not that he has just spoken it just from here and there, he has just spoken. So he has given all the evidences, but it's still like people had this issue that how can he write such kind of book? So anyway, maybe in future people will come to know that whatever he has written is not something which is wrong, but there are like lot of basis is there based on that he has written that book. So that is about about the concept that whether the life is only there in this universe. So that is one doubt or one unsolved mystery which the scientific community is having. Other two important like this unsolved, you can say the thing which no one is able to figure out. One is consciousness and free will. That how is it that we have free will and we can execute or exercise our free will? There is no scientific explanation behind that. What about consciousness? That how can we have our feelings? How can we have our emotions? All these things, from where does it originate? Like right now, this AI and robotics is very famous. Like many people are having this robotics, AI and all. So we are also asked to train the AI model, that we give some input and based on that AI model gets trained. But although you may have robots, we may have artificial intelligence, but they will never have any consciousness. We can feed them to act in a they may have certain emotions, feelings and all. That can be like you can give it to them, input can be given, but that will never be natural. That will be always artificial. In natural way, they will never do it. And like the other aspects that we read in the scriptures, like their birth is there, growth is there, like whatever this which the a living being goes through, the 6 changes are there. That is never going to happen in the robotics and all. So we will never see that like birth is there. Birth means anyone can create it, that is fine. But one robot does not give birth to another robot. We have never seen it. One robot is there, वो father बन गया कल जो है, दूसरा robot पैदा हो गया उससे. That we never see. They will never have growth. It's not that one robot is 3 feet. After 1 year, it is like become 4 feet tall or 5 feet tall. That is never going to happen with the robot. And it's not that they do not have that a byproduct is there. So all those things are not going to happen. All these things which we create. So all these things are never going to happen with these machines and all. And the other thing is that regarding the free will, that how we execute our free will, that also no one knows, because each and every individual has their different free will. And no one knows that how the decision we keep on making it. No one can control our free will. Impossible. So that also no one knows, that why a person behaves in a particular way, why other person behaves in a particular way, why one person takes a rational decision, why one takes an irrational decision. So that understanding also people are like they are like unable to figure out that how it is going to happen. Other thing is that they say that why do we dream? What is the reason that why we dream? What is the cause of our dream? When we sleep in the night, why we dream? So similarly, they also have this one understanding or one desire which everyone is having, that can we live forever? That is also that why is it that people die, and what is the reason, that what is the process by which we can make sure that everyone lives for eternity. So these are like some of the unsolved mysteries even in the scientific world. So I thought that when we are discussing about this important verse from Bhagavatam, so people may say that we just refer the scriptures, but even the secular, you can say the media or the magazines and all, or the scientific magazines, so they are also not able to find out, not able to figure out. So they also are not able to explain all these important concepts. So they also fail and lack in those things. So they are trying to find the solution, but till now we have seen that the solution is there. Means they are not even aware, means they're not even able to figure out the what can be the solution. So they try to, like they say that everything came from chemicals, so everything evolved from this way or that way. So one of the concept they give, because they are not willing to accept that the origin of human being coming from God. So there was some time back, so one very prominent person, so he said that I do not accept the theory that the human beings originated from apes or monkeys or chimpanzee, you can say. So there was a big issue in the scientific community. So not all scientific, I will not say all scientists, because there are many scientists who believe in God. So there are many scientists who accept that yeah, God is there, and we are doing our duty, because we are trying to understand the nature which is created by God, this material universe. So that particular so-called scientist, so he came to a press conference and he was wearing the dress of an ape, just to showcase that we have evolved from ape. Because they say that 99% genome or genes of chimpanzee or ape is similar to that of the human being. So although they said 99%, but this 1% also makes a huge difference. It's not that a small difference, it makes a huge difference they make. So what does chimpanzee, even 50% of the banana which we have, so that also have the same genome that of the human being. So that is how the life has been created. But that also makes a huge difference. So in our lifetime, or like whatever the recorded history is there, so people may say that evolution happened through apes or through chimpanzees, but we still see that chimpanzee also exists, apes also exist, human beings also exist. So we have never seen, or there is no recorded history where anyone has seen that chimpanzee is converting into human being. कभी हम लोग नहीं सुना कि किसी पूछेंगे व्हाट इज योर फादर वाज डूइंग, सो दैट मेरे फादर चिंपैंजी थे और मैं इस जनरेशन ह्यूमन बीइंग बना हूं. नो वन विल एवर से. Or we have the history is there, our family history is there. So I am there, my father, grandfather, great grandfather, great grandfather. So we will never see in that history it is written that 10th generation someone was chimpanzee in our family, mother was chimpanzee, or great grandfather was chimpanzee. No, we have never heard it. So many, because we have now recorded evidence of almost 2000, 3000 years. So many, like Vasco da Gama came, Columbus came, many invaders came. No one has ever said about this thing, that they saw that one person from chimpanzee become human being. कभी हम लोग पढ़े नहीं है. So many things just require common sense. It does not require like great scientific evidence also. So all these things people say, they just try to discard God, but there is no evidence, and that is why even these many people who are knowledgeable, who are intellectual, who also introspect, try to find out what is truth, what is not truth. So they have this kind of questions. So they try to understand all these kind of things. So this is about the creation which Krishna has created. So this is also very difficult to understand. So when the creation of Krishna is very difficult to understand, so how will it be possible for us to easily understand the creator, the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is the creator? So how will it be possible for us to understand? So that is why in this verse, if we read, so it is mentioned that in the last paragraph, if we read Sridhar Swami, where like a reference has been given of Sridhar Swami. So he is saying that Sridhar Swami suggests that this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam answers a possible objection on the part of Lord Krishna. How can I create, maintain and destroy the universe if I am Vasudev's son? So the answer is given by the words Aho Bibhu Manas Charitam Vidambanam. You are the perfectly complete whole, and your birth and pastimes are only an imitation of ordinary person's activities in the material world. You simply pretend to be under higher control. So this is how when Krishna appears in this world, so many people are not able to understand who is Krishna. People have this question or doubt, they will ask that why can't we see God? People have this doubt, Bhagwan क्यों नहीं दिखते हैं? But when Krishna was present, so many people saw Krishna, but how many people understood that he is the Supreme Lord? Like although Dhritarashtra was blind, but Duryodhana was not blind. Duryodhana saw Krishna face to face, even talked to Krishna. Even he even went to Krishna before the beginning of the Mahabharata war. But they were not able to understand who is Krishna. So they knew also about many extraordinary pastime of Krishna, like Krishna showing universe in his mouth. I don't know whether they knew this pastime or not, but they knew that Krishna did all the extraordinary things. But they thought that these are something mystical activities which Krishna is doing. They did not think that he is God, he is like something who is the creator of everything. So he was not able to understand all those things. So it is very difficult. That is why we see that Queen Kunti, so in her prayer, she says that Maya Javni, what is a Maya Javni Kacha Naam. So that is like this Kacha Naam is the curtain, right? Illusory energy is there. That curtain is there, and then further she is saying that there are people, there are like foolish people are there. So someone like there might be some actor, so he might be having some different original personality, but he may be playing certain role. So just like Krishna, he is the Supreme Lord, but when he comes here, so he performs like certain pastime, he plays certain role, like he takes like humble role, he becomes a charioteer of Arjuna, or he becomes someone's son, he will become, someone's paramour, he will become, but he is the Supreme Lord. So when people like us see, or people who is like completely engrossed in, you can say, or covered by this illusory energy of the Supreme Lord, so for us, it is like very difficult to understand, just like for an foolish person to identify or understand that the person who is acting on the stage and the real person is two different person. Similarly, for us, it is very difficult. We may think that Krishna, whatever the pastime he is performing, is just like an ordinary pastime, just like what we do in this world. So Krishna is also doing the same thing in this world. So this is how like people like us may misunderstand Krishna. So that is why when Krishna comes, like here in this chapter only we are seeing, and then when Krishna is there, so when all the Brajvasis, so they are meeting Krishna, all the kings, everyone is meeting Krishna. Then Krishna starts glorifying the sages, that why it is important for us to associate with the sages, that Krishna says. Then the sages then in turn start glorifying Krishna. Then we start understanding who is Krishna. That is why we need pure devotees, we need great personalities, because from our understanding, if we try to understand Krishna, it is very difficult. Like before coming to Krishna consciousness, or before reading Prabhupada's book, for people like us also, or people like me also, when we used to see Krishna's pastime, like I remember that during school day, there was one movie of Krishna which was shown in TV. That because in movie they will show all this, and the Krishna is stealing the garments of the gopis. So in our school, we had a very long discussion with our school friends that if Krishna is God, then how can he do these kind of things? So it is like something which is improper, which should not be done and all. Because we just see, and because those people, they are not like devotees, so they will just show it just to increase viewership and all. But when we start reading Prabhupada's book, Prabhupada's purport, especially, not just the verses, then actually we start understanding what are the who is Krishna. Because first of all, we have to understand who is Krishna. Because first we understand who is Krishna, then only it is possible to understand that whatever the pastimes which Krishna is performing, then only it is possible. That is why this all the pastimes or all this transcendental knowledge, it is very mysterious. That is why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he says in Bhagavad Gita 4.3, right? He says, Rahasyam hi etad uttamam. That this transcendental knowledge which he is giving, that is Rahasyam. That is very much mysterious, and Uttamam, that is transcendental. So this knowledge Krishna is giving. So we are having knowledge through Bhagavad Gita. We are having knowledge through Bhagavatam. So all this knowledge is we are getting so that we can understand correctly that who is Krishna. When we understand Krishna, then we understand all the living entities, then we understand the relationship of living entities with Krishna, then we have the complete knowledge. And when we have complete knowledge, then we understand that what is good for us and what is the thing which we should do so that it can help us to attain complete liberation from this miserable material life. Else it is very difficult to figure out. That is why Krishna comes, he gives these scriptures, and when they give these scriptures, we try to understand the scriptures. But along with that, he also sends his pure devotees, like Acharyas come, Prabhupada comes, all they come, and the purpose why they come is that because they come here to give us all this transcendental knowledge. Because once we get this transcendental knowledge, then we understand that what is our real constitutional position. So that is why we should try to read these books when we are reading these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, when we are reading the scriptures. So then it is very important that we understand it in a very proper way, in a very proper perspective we should understand. Because when we do it, then our understanding and whatever the doubts are there, whatever the challenges we face, so that gets clear. That is why, like, we have been given different process. A different process we follow, and by following different process, we can purify our heart also. Because once we purify our heart, then all this knowledge slowly starts getting revealed to us. And when this scriptural knowledge starts getting revealed to us, then we start understanding our real position. So when we are practicing devotional life, so it is also very important that there are like certain do's and don'ts which are given. So when we are practicing, so practicing is something which are doing positive. So along with that, it is also important that there are certain things which also are prohibited. Because if we do Krishna consciousness, as it is said, no, Krishna consciousness and sense gratification goes ill together. So like if you are practicing Krishna consciousness, like it is said, no, like we are lighting the fire, like Krishna consciousness is like lighting the fire, and doing sense gratification is like pouring water on that. So like one person, so he was suffering from lung disease. So he went to the doctor and he said to the doctor that I am having this lung problem. This problem is there. The doctor asked him that what you do. So the doctor said that, and he asked him that what is your daily lifestyle? Do you drink also, smoke also? So that person said yes. The patient, yes, I drink also, smoke also. The doctor said that, okay, I am giving you this medicine. So take this medicine and it will cure you. But along with that, it is also important that you should stop drinking liquor from today onwards. So that patient said that no, I am willing to take the medicine, but you give me permission to take liquor also. I want to take medicine also and liquor also simultaneously. So both the things he wanted to do. So similarly, I can say people like us or people like me, so we want to do both the things. We want to practice Krishna consciousness also. Along with that, we also want to do sense gratification. So we want best of both the world. So that is how we want to practice our devotional life. Thoda ye bhi ho jaye, thoda ye bhi ho jaye. So that is why we try to do. So we are in the middle. So that is why sometimes, like it is said, no, like there are two people who can be like extremely happy. One is the pure devotee. They can be extremely happy because they have no material desire, no material motive, nothing is there. They're always absorbed in practicing Krishna consciousness, practicing bhakti. So they're always blissful. And another person who is very blissful is the complete fool, like the hog. So they will eat all the stool, the hog will eat, and they will feel that there is no harm in that. They will like eat it, they will enjoy it. So that is like hoggish mentality people may be having. So foolish people who are completely engrossed in sense gratification. So their concept is there also like eat, drink and be merry. That is their concept. So they want to do all these things and they think that by doing this, they are going to be very happy. So that they do, and in utter ignorance, they think that they are happy. So these people, swine-like mentality, those who are having, And the third category is people like us, वो कभी इधर जाते कभी उधर जाते, कभी लगता है थोड़ा भक्ति कर लेते हैं, थोड़ा सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन कर लेते हैं. So we go sometimes this side, sometimes we go this side. And because of that only, like we are not completely able to enjoy in the sense that we are not completely able to realize Krishna or completely able to blissfully practice Krishna consciousness. So, but we are fortunate that although we have so many impurities or so many things are there, but we have mercy of Krishna, we have mercy of, especially mercy of devotees, we have mercy of Prabhupada. Because by the mercy of pure devotees like mercy of Prabhupada, we have seen that so many devotees, just by serving Prabhupada, so their life completely got transformed. So like this is Rath Yatra time, so that there is one pastime of Prabhupada I will try to share. So why I am sharing is that I will tell you, so the reason behind this later. So we all know about that, we might have heard this pastime, but we will repeat it again. So that Shyam Sundar Prabhu, that when this first Lord Jagannath deity, this service he was given to carve. So he was working on carving the deity of Lord Jagannath. So I was reading that Shyam Sundar Prabhu, he was giving one example also, that he was like little bit, he was thinking that how is it that people can live without indulging in sense gratification like meat eating, gambling, intoxication, illicit sex. So he was little confused. Then somehow or the other he saw Mukund Maharaj, he saw, then other devotees he saw. Then he was doubtful, but later on he saw that how these devotees are always blissful by practicing Krishna consciousness. Then because of their, you can say, because they were their friends, so they took him to Prabhupada. And once he met Prabhupada, then he understood that he has met the best person in his life. And he decided that I am going to dedicate my life to Prabhupada. So anyway, so Prabhupada had given him one service because he was a very nice, you can say, craftsman or carpenter. So he was given this service of carving the deity of Lord Jagannath. So he was doing this service. So once Prabhupada came to visit him without any intimation, Prabhupada came. And that time he was doing this service. And then Prabhupada, he had some doubt that how this Lord Jagannath should look. So should he use this material or that material? So Prabhupada was like giving him, yes, this material, Lord Jagannath's eyes should look like this, his face should look like this, hands should be like this. So all this instruction Prabhupada was giving and he was listening very attentively. And then when Prabhupada was leaving, so there was one pack of cigarette which was kept on the floor. Then Prabhupada took his cane stick and immediately just he tossed this, immediately hit that cigarette pack and threw it out of the room. And then Prabhupada immediately said, from today onwards, no more smoking cigarette. That is the statement which Prabhupada said. From today onwards, no more smoking cigarette. And then Shyam Sundar Prabhu says that because they were very new to Krishna consciousness, so they even did not know that we should not smoke because that was not told also to them. But when Prabhupada said that from today onwards, no more smoking, from that moment itself they gave up smoking. Now I know, or we might have known that how much it is difficult. Those people who are addicted to this kind of things, smoking or drinking. Like I was in hostel, so one of my hostel roommates, one day he was crying. So I asked him that what is the problem? Are you having problem in your studies or family problem or other problem? He said, no, there is no problem. My problem is that I have got addicted to smoking. So I said that smoking that, and that is in 11th and 12th, not in like in college also, in school time, you can say 11, 12. So I said that, that how many cigarettes you smoke? So he said to me that sometimes in a day he smokes 40 to 45 cigarettes in one single day. An student of class 11th or maybe 12th, something like that. So it is like so difficult, one who gets addicted to this kind of nasty habits. But here we see that, and these people, those like Prabhupada's disciples they became, so they were unaware about all these things because there is that kind of culture. But just by getting the mercy of Prabhupada, just one statement of Prabhupada and they were able to give up all this kind of bad habits. So that is the greatness, that is the mercy we are having. And we have to be just if we want to experience the sunlight, then just we have to stand under the sky, we will get the rays of the sun. Similarly, we have to get the mercy of the pure devotees, Prabhupada disciples. Then we have to just come here and sit down and be in the association of all the devotees. And automatically we are going to get all the mercy. And when we are going to get all the mercy, then slowly our heart will also get purified, get transformed. And once our heart will get transformed, so as this in this verse which we are discussing, So that when we try to understand Krishna, although it is impossible, very difficult to understand Krishna, but at least we can purify ourselves and we can get mercy of Krishna, and we can come into a situation where we can completely free ourselves from all the sins and become a devotee of Krishna. So, as in this verse, it is said that when we read the translation again, so here in the translation it is said that indeed the human-like pastimes of the Almighty are simply a pretense. Effortlessly, He alone sends forth from His self this variegated creation, maintains it, and then swallows it up again, and all without becoming entangled, just as the element earth takes on many names and forms in its various transformations. So we can understand it about Krishna. So many different pastimes he does. He comes here just to attract us or invite us so that we can also understand him, and also we can hopefully one day be part of his many pastimes which he perform in the spiritual world. So these are some of the points I thought I can share, or whatever I read, I understood. If anything mistake is there, so I seek forgiveness. So you can conclude the discussion today. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, हरे कृष्ण।